Hey, welcome to our class of Tuesday Night Beer School with me, Chad, of Chad's Beer Reviews, and
Christina.
yeah, it's been a while. Where you been?
I'm back. I've been away.
All right, so we had we did that thing where we did all four Belgian beers styles in a row. Well, we're gonna do category 28, which is all the American wild styles. And so, like, when it comes to wild beer, you have Brett or brettanomyces, which is a wild yeast, which gives like a really dry. We use the word funky a lot in these types of beers, just because like it's a je ne sais quoi thing. It's like really hard to describe, but like once you taste it, you'll know. It'll be like, oh, that's Brett, you know. And it's like a farmhouse kind of sensation or a terroir character. You know, I mean, you'll find out in a minute once we get into it. But then you also have like the sours, like our friend. It's funny, our friend Brett, who makes from Urban Artifact, makes the, sour fruit beers, but like that's with bacteria. So, anyways, we are on style 28A Brett beer. So this is just Brett, no bacteria. Intended for beer with or without oak aging that has been fermented with sack and Brett or with Brett only. Overall impression of most often drier and fruitier than the base style suggests. Fruity or funky notes range from low to high depending on the age of the beer and strains of Brett used. May possess a light non-lactic acidity. So comments, it basically just repeats what it just says. It just says, the Brett character should always meld with the style. These beers should not be a Brett bomb. Well, Brett can produce low levels of organic acid, a primary beer souring method, yeah. And so it's basically it's like the American equivalent of like the Belgian sours and wild ales, except they do it basically in a lab instead of in like with a fairly quick turnaround instead of waiting years for like the naturally occurring bacteria and wild yeast like is in Belgium.
They hurry it up.
Yeah. It's like, why wait years when you just get this done now,
Right.
Character ingredients: virtually any style of beer, then finish with one or more strains of Brett. Style comparison: compare to the same style without. So it's drier, more highly attenuated. Yeah, that's what drier means. Like less sugar, fruitier, lighter in body, and slightly funkier as it ages. Less sourness. Less sourness. Got like a list all of a sudden. All right, so and it's funny because the beer we have tonight is not on this list, but the beer museum down the street does have this beer, but it says in big huge letters 2016 on it. I was like, I'll give you $2 for this. They're like, no.
Why is every beer in there is from 2016? It was a special year.
Actually, this one's kind of old too. Although I got this at Total Wine, so this is actually, and this is from my old, my old state of New York. Captain Lawrence, American Funk Brett IPA. They're out of Elmsford, New York, which is like it's just north of the city. Although this particular can is old. It was canned on March 15th last year, so just about a year old. Let's get this into our glasses, and we will be right back. All right, we are back, and we got our American Funk Brett IPA in our Spiegel glasses here. It's been a while since we only did just one beer. This is all I could find, so.
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
I could smell this as soon as I poured it. And yeah, that is the smell of Brett or brettanomyces.
Okay.
How would you describe it?
It's unique.
Yeah. That's why I use the word funk, because it's so hard to describe.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say there's a fruity essence to it. Like it's kind of like white and green fruits, so like white grape, green green pear, green apple.
Yeah, I'm getting like an astringent kind of smell to it.
It has a bit of it has like a countryside kind of smell.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Like the Belgians like are even like more like it's a terroir character. It's hard to describe, but.
Do you mean hay?
Yeah, a lot of people actually. It's funny. One of the terms that we use is horse blanket.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But I would say this has a fruity character. It also, I think, on the age of the can, there is a bit of a something off there, though.
Is there? I don't.
It's a little cidery. Do you get like kind of like apple cider?
No, but I actually had some Chardonnay the other night. It's kind of got that
Okay. Yeah.
kind
Well,
of
yeah.
very similar smell.
White grape. Yeah. But you can tell that it doesn't smell like a standard beer. Like you can just,
No.
I can just smell the tartness on here.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, compared to a beer, yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of, I guess, hoppiness to this.
No, there wouldn't be, especially after a year in the can. So let's check the specs on that. Aroma variable by base style. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention this is supposed to be an IPA, so you would think it would be hop forward, but it is. I'm not getting any hops on this, but again, because this
No.
can is a year old, so Brett beers will possess more fruity notes. I agree. But this is variable by the strains of Brett used. Older Brett beers may start to develop a little funk. For example, barnyard, wet hay, or slightly earthy or smoky notes. Oh yeah, okay. I would say like it is a little earthy or smoky.
Yeah, and I'm definitely getting the hay.
Yeah, but this character should not dominate. I agree.
Yeah.
It's there, but it's to me the Brett and like a fruity essence is front and center.
It wasn't the first thing I noticed either.
You kind of had to like dig down in there.
Yep.
So, what's nice about these specialty styles is you can basically score them. Well, not basically, but you can score them however much you like it instead of how well it is to the style, because that's really hard to, judge exactly. So I mean, to me, as a Brett beer, this is on point, but as a Brett IPA, it's completely lacking in hops. So I mean, as a Brett beer, this is like a 10 or 11, but as a Brett IPA, it's low. I'm thinking I would give it 8. If it was a little bit hoppy, I would give it, more.
I hadn't even taken that into consideration, the IPA
Yeah.
aspect of it. I was going to give it a 10, but I guess I'll give it a 9 for that.
Yeah. I mean, I will say it smells good.
It does.
It just doesn't smell like an IPA.
Not at
Brett-
all.
All right, so appearance, most Brett beers have this like orange color. In fact, this is like the only kind of beer where you get like actual orange. It's not like amber. It's not amber. It's not gold. Obviously, it's pretty cloudy, but a lot of that's probably due to the age of the can. Although I will say I am surprised. This thing has held the head. I thought it would just completely vanish.
Yeah, there's a little carbonation going on there, too.
Yeah.
If you really look.
Yeah. I'd say I mean, it's kind of dirty as an IPA,
Yeah.
but it's an old can, and I have a feeling they give you some leeway here. So let's find out.
Let's see.
Variable by base style. Clarity can be variable and depends on the base style and ingredients used. Some haze is not necessarily a fault. Just say some haze. I mean, this isn't as hazy as like an actual hazy IPA, but I mean, maybe we can spot it a point because it's old. If this was fresh, it'd probably be fairly clear. So I'm gonna be generous. I'll give it the full 3.
I will, too. I mean, they said clarity can be a
Yeah.
variable, so it's pretty open to interpretation there.
All right. Well, this is your first Brett beer.
It is.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh, that's dry.
It's tart.
It's tart, too.
Yeah, very
Kind of-
tart.
Wow. That's actually surprising. The first thing you know for me, it's just like kind of sucks all the moisture out of your
Yeah,
mouth and
yeah.
makes you pucker a little bit.
That's funny. I've actually used that phrase in previous review. If you watch old Chad's beer reviews, I said it's like it sucks all the moisture out of your mouth.
Yeah, it just dries you up.
Although I will say, like, there is a tasty, fruity character there. That kind of Sauvignon Blanc or Chardonnay thing.
Yeah, it definitely has that white, fruity wine quality to it. A little bit of a burn.
Yeah. This is 8% ABV.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that burn's coming from the 8%. It's coming from the Brett because like it's just so dry. Remember it said light acidity?
Yeah.
So I mean that's what that burn is. It's a light acidity.
Would you consider this a light acidity? I think it's pretty acidic.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, acidic but not sour. Because this isn't sour really at all, especially not compared to like, one of the Urban Artifact beers. Are you
Right.
getting sourness on here?
No, just the straight up tartness of it.
It's odd because to me it's like it's so fruity flavored, but at the same time, it's also so tart. Like, and I'm not like a wine person at all. Like, I know like a lot, especially a lot of the white wines. Like, what's a dry white, like Riesling or something?
No, that's a sweet, like a Pinot,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah, so it's like the taste. To me, it's the taste of like white grape, green pear, little green apple. Are you getting bread on here at all? Like, is it bready or actually malty?
No. Have you had kombucha
No.
before?
Well, I've had like samples at like beer fest and stuff. Yeah, it's like fermented tea.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
reminding me of, it's got that kombucha quality to it.
I will say, because this can is a year old, I can taste the oxidation on here.
Really?
Can you get that at all?
No.
It's a bit of cardboard or sherry or lemon lollipop.
Oh yeah. That's incredible. I can't get past the tartness to even find those, but
Yeah. I will say, like, again, as a Brett beer, like this is a great example, especially for you, for your first time having a Brett beer. Now you're like, now you know what Brett smells and tastes like. The only problem is, like, this is marketed as a Brett IPA, and usually IPAs are very hoppy and bitter, and I'm not getting either on this one.
why would they market it as a Brett IPA?
Well, remember, this can is a year old.
Yeah.
So when it was fresh, it probably was pretty hoppy. I have had other Brett IPAs. So, I mean, just imagine this beer with like a lot of, probably, depending on what hops they use, but, you know, like really citrusy, or, you know, kind of like grapefruit pith, like not grapefruit juice, just the peel or the zest, you know.
That sounds good. I'd like to try that. Like one that's actually fresh.
Yeah. The problem is Brett beers are really hard to find, and they're certainly not cheap either.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, like, this one, yeah, this, I mean, I'm getting that burn in the throat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just from the acidity. I'd love to know, like, what's the pH of this beer. So, again, before we even get into the specs, like, to me, as a Brett beer, this is absolutely what I would want in a Brett beer. But as a Brett IPA, I need more hops, or any at all, really. So, yeah, I mean, to me, like, if you were drinking this blind, would it occur to you that this is a IPA of some sort?
No, you until you said something, I didn't even realize it was
Yeah.
an IPA because you would have no idea. None.
All right, let's check the specs. Flavor variable by base style. Brett character may range from minimal to aggressive. I don't know if I'd go as far as say aggressive, but yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
Can be quite fruity. Yep, it is. Or have some smoky, earthy, or barnyard character. I wouldn't say it's smoky, but yeah, there's a little bit of a barnyard thing going here. Should not be unpleasantly funky, such as Band-Aid, fetid, nail polish, cheese. Yeah, I'm not getting any of that on here.
Right.
I mean, like, when I first poured it, there was like a slight essence of like kind of like paint remover or something, but I'm not getting that anymore.
Yikes.
Always fruitier when young, getting more funk with age. May not be lactic. Weird sentence fragment there. All right. Malt flavor is often less pronounced than the base style, leaving a beer most often dry and crisp due to high attenuation by the Brett. Yeah, this one's interesting because it's very highly attenuated, but it's also old. So it has like a bit of that oxidized character to it, but yeah, this one's hard to score. Well, I mean, again, the same. I would score it the same as we did the aroma. Like, as a Brett beer, it's great. As a Brett IPA, it's kind of lacking. So, as a Brett beer, I think it's like 18. As an IPA, it's like 5. So
Whoa.
I'm gonna go 13. What do you think?
I don't. If they were just going for a Brett, I think this would be so good. But the IPA, yeah, that messes it up for them.
Yeah, it is also a year-old can.
I know, and as it's warming up, I'm starting to taste the lollipop thing.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 14. I'll
14?
do one up. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's talk about mouthfeel. It's not super light. This is 8% ABV, so I mean, any 8% beer is going to have like at least like a medium body.
Yeah.
And I would probably say that's true of this one. I'd say it's probably like about a medium. And the carbonation is not super high in this. It's funny because most Brett beers are like caged in cork bottles, and they tend to be like champagne effervescence. This one, as like the actual drinking experience, like as far as the body and carbonation and all that, it is. I will say it has the body of an IPA, and also, I mean, 8%, so kind of like a double IPA. Well, it's not quite that thick.
Yeah, it's well, it's getting to the bottom, but it's not very carbonated anymore.
Yeah, I'd probably say medium body, moderately low carbonation.
Agreed.
Yeah, but it's drinkable.
Yeah.
Yeah. We both mentioned the kind of acidic throat warming sensation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a challenge to drink at all. Yeah, so. And I will say, like, it finishes very clean.
Yeah, it doesn't linger. It has that burning feel, but it doesn't stick around.
I mean, it has like it's kind of aftertaste on my tongue. It's not oily. It's just kind of
the tartness.
Yeah, it's just
For me, it just lingers a little bit.
An unflavored tartness, I guess. Like it's
unflavored. Yeah, affects your tongue, but not your taste buds.
Yeah, it feels like my tongue's like a little furry or something.
Yeah.
All right, let's check the specs. Variable by base style. Generally has a light body, lighter than what might be expected from the base style, but an overly thin body is a fault. Yeah, I would not say that this is overly thin. Generally moderate to high carbonation. Head retention is variable, often less than the base style. I wonder why they mentioned head retention and mouthfeel. They should mention that in appearance. So yeah, I mean, this definitely drinks like a Brett beer. I would say it's definitely lighter than most 8% IPAs. It's lighter in carbonation though, so I think that's kind of a fault because it does say generally moderate to high carbonation, and we both said this seems a little
heavy.
Lacking in carbonation.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say 3. Whoops.
No, that's fine.
I just assumed you were gonna do 3.
Yep, I'll do
right.
a 3.
Overall, I would probably actually buy this again as a Brett beer.
I like it.
As a Brett IPA, it's really it leaves a lot to be desired, So I don't even know if they even make this beer anymore. This can is a year old, so we might not get the last batch. Who knows?
Yeah.
So I mean, as a Brett beer, I think it's a great example. As a Brett IPA, lame.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 7. It's good. It's not great.
I'll do a 7 as well. Okay. I like it, but yeah, the IPA part. Why even do the IPA part?
Well, I mean, maybe when this was fresh, it was like it's a totally different beer.
Yeah, maybe you just got to go and have it like right there.
Yeah.
Fresh.
All right, so 34, 36. So I mean, we were pretty much in agreement for everything.
Yeah, 35 average.
Yeah.
Good.
It's good. It's not great. And also, I mean, I will say for a year old, most beers that are a year old, unless it's like Bourbon County or something like that, are going to be like basically undrinkable. But this is actually really drinkable.
Yeah.
If you weren't here, I would definitely be able to drink this all by myself. So
it's not hard to drink. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Captain Lawrence, if you ever do another batch of this, please send a fresh one to Florida, and maybe we'll redo the show.
We need a fresh one.
Yeah.
For a better review. All
right. Well, thanks to Chris for coming over.
Of course.
And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.